Sometimes we mention how challenging it is to get kids to read nonfiction, and graphic novels is a great bridge to make kids attracted to nonfiction. This book almost does the impossible because it bridges nonfiction with a topic they're otherwise never going to learn about in school, up to maybe high school, maybe a senior year of high school. And even then it's going to be a cursory look, and it's not going to be as interesting as this graphic novel. It's The Other Side of Tomorrow because it deals with the humanitarian crisis in North Korea. You say, what humanitarian crisis? Basically the fact that their people are slaves to an extent of the government. And the backstory behind this book is so fascinating because, yeah, you got to figure this book came out this year, 2024, but the history behind its production is a case upon its own, how the story became relayed, and that's another backstory unto its own. Let's deal with the graphic novel before I ramble on, because North Korea and a graphic novel about it is a hard enough sell, and this is about two intertwining stories. A group of kids, two kids, they hook up with this other kid, and they're both escaping North Korea for various reasons. And this is about their escape from North Korea to China, to Thailand, and parts in between, and the dangers and the adventures that led them there, as well as the struggles and the hardships that they encountered when they lived in North Korea. Like they had to dig for their own vegetables, then make the soup and sell the soup to make money to feed their family. Or did they have to dig all day to find metals that they would then sell back to the North Korean government, that the Korean government would then melt down for bullets? And this is all within the story, so you gotta figure, well, how much of this is really true? And that's the only disconnect where it's like, wow, you, as an adult, you've got to stop yourself when you're reading this and say, how much of this is fiction? How much of it is nonfiction? And that's where it really gets fascinating to think about. And this, you know, do your own little dig down the Google rabbit hole as to the backstory behind The Other Side of Tomorrow, because it's not based on a true story per se from a first source. It was told supposedly to the authors by someone else, by two youths who did escape from North Korea, but you ask yourself, is it entirely plausible and believable? Oh yeah. Fun story, I was in Beijing once, and I was just some wiseacre, mid-20-something punk, and I dared take a picture of the North Korean embassy in Beijing. And quicker than you can say, who is that Western bald dude? Dudes were up on me like, what are you doing? What are you taking pictures of? And I'm just taking a picture. I didn't know what the heck I was taking a picture of. That's just a fun little sidebar that says, that's not a place I want to go. But people live there. This is nonfiction for them. We're taking a possible fictitious look at a nonfiction place and the horrors that go on there. It's realistic fiction is the best way you can go to it. And the best example I can get for my high school or middle school graphic novel fans is this. I recently got done teaching Persepolis. Persepolis about the Iranian, if I recall correctly, the Iranian Revolution in the late 70s, early 80s. And that graphic novel, we just did the first part of it. It was good, and it was more of a political look in that graphic novel, but it wasn't really a graphic novel per se. It was more, I didn't like it that much. This is a better book. It doesn't deal with the politics of North Korea. It deals with the mental and the physical and the populist toll that the policies of North Korea has on its people. This is where it's effective. It doesn't say, whatever. It's not too much on that, although it does mention the North Korean leaders a couple of times. Compared to Persepolis, it's a much better and timelier book to teach from. If my high school teachers are out there looking for a new graphic novel that's going to be a little more relevant and a whole lot more conversational and so much better in its illustration. Man, the illustrations in The Other Side of Tomorrow are just gorgeous. They look like they're painted, maybe done initially with a pencil and then painted. It's gorgeous, it's ethereal, and it's easily one of the best graphic novels of 2024. It really will take your breath away if you're in middle school and up. If you're in upper elementary school, you're probably a little too young to get the power of it. But man, you middle schoolers, you high schoolers, you adults, if you're looking for a fresh take for a graphic novel, that you might otherwise associate with a superhero and tight kind of format, please check out this graphic novel. It is The Other Side of Tomorrow. It's from Tina Cho, with beautiful illustrations by Deb J.J. Lee, and it will blow you away.